So we have some talking points, right? To go
Turn
through.
left to D57. Al Yalay
So the
Street.
topic is quite topical, I would say. How are you feeling third time on the radio? Third time, second time?
Second time, yeah.
Second time.
It is second time. No, second time, exactly.
I think first we went together,
Yeah.
then I went on my own.
Correct.
And then now this is time 3.
This time you've tagged me.
Yes, I have.
Tagged you.
Very convenient. Making final decision does not sit with HR.
Whether you're an HR professional in the US or whether in the UK or in the UAE.
You have to ask her. She's going on the radio. I am. I'm really looking forward to this. We're here to see
Your good name, please.
Desma,
And which company?
SNK HR Consulting.
I would not have been able to even think of this as being a possibility. Same like I didn't expect the Pope to come in to Dubai to compare. I didn't expect to be on the radio talking about HR.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Helen Farmer with you, coming up to 6 minutes past 2. So joining us to talk about the current face of HR is Alarona D'Souza. And we're talking about how it has changed and perhaps what also needs to evolve as well. How are you, Alarona?
I'm well. Thank you for having me.
I'm so interested about what drew you to this area because, we spend our waking hours at work. What was it about HR, about human resources, we thought, that's an area that I want to put my time, my attentions, my efforts to make a difference?
Okay, I'm so glad you asked me that question because I was saying on my way here that I only wanted to be in HR since I left school. So it has been my dream to be in HR. That was the career I chose. I got to live that career for 10 years in the corporate world and then set up my business in HR. So HR is all that I have been doing.
But why? Why? Because I'm not going to lie, it wouldn't be on top of my list when I was 18. I don't think I would even know what it was.
Yeah, so it's very fascinating that I chose this field. And the principles for what I chose it was because this was my way of seeing how I could, funnily enough, you'll come to this, is how do I help and keep workplaces fair and how do I be an instrument to make that happen? And for me, the right place that I fit in was HR.
Now,
and I've been doing that.
Well, I want to kind of understand how it's evolved in that time as well. But before that, it used to be seen as very administrative, very reactive. How do you think it has changed in the last decade and why?
Oh, it has changed in leaps and bounds. It has changed because that was the need of the market as well, to be more responsible for people and the business. It has integrated with the business more than it was before. It was a standalone overhead cost center, etc. And now it's getting a seat at the table. It's having an opinion. Many CHROs have now become CEOs. So it's getting the attention that it probably deserved for a long time.
I think it's this shift from kind of paperwork and policies and paychecks to now towards people.
That's right.
About understanding that if the employees aren't happy and healthy and supported and heard, how on earth are you going to get the bottom line that you're saying you want by the end of the quarter?
Yes, it's extremely closely linked. Happy employees are productive employees, and productive employees make successful business. So it's there.
What about the rebranding that I've seen, Alarona? This idea of moving away from being the HR department to, things like people and culture, or, culture and impact, and, human capital, and, this kind of change. Why do you think that's come about?
I think HR just needed a rebranding and represent the evolution of HR from where we were. So HR has a, people have an impression or a perception of HR, and through rebranding we can also reinvent ourselves as a function.
Oh, thank you for raising that, because there is this widespread belief that HR exists to protect the company, not the employee. Is that something you've come up against over your time in this space, and is that fair?
I would be lying to say if it didn't come up against it. And I think at some points, HR has to be, the truth is HR is in the center of where, the intersection of where it serves the company and it has to serve the employee. So we cannot do one or the other. But oftentimes what comes out to the employee is that, that we have taken the side of the company.
Because they pay you.
So does the employee gets paid by the company.
I'm really saying is that I think this interpretation that HR can often be a mouthpiece for the company, and the power dynamic can feel unfair, but there's actually a lot more happening that we might not realise.
Correct. So before a decision has been communicated to an employee, there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes, sitting with the management, sitting with leadership to explain what are the options, what is the guidance. But the decision that they sometimes have to facilitate is not their own. They're the guiding force behind it. And they can lead somebody to a decision, but they don't make the decision in a silo.
Can I ask then, we've obviously seen a huge kind of explosion of small and medium businesses, and many of them will not have the resources or luxury for HR. And then, of course, you've got global companies that are coming to UAE, having Dubai as their regional head office. And then, of course, you've got homegrown companies that have done incredibly well. What kind of function does HR have in those different kind of environments? Because it can't be all things to all people, because you've got to have a very different set of challenges and opportunities in those spaces.
Absolutely. I mean, what you practice HR in a large organization often looks very different when you're in a small business. A small business is small, so your interactions are more personal. You're not just an employee number. They know you by person. They probably know your family, and they are quite connected with the team. So I think HR has more to offer in each situation, but especially in the small business, they can make the employee experience a lot more meaningful. In fact, Helen, the statistics is that there are more happy employees in a small business environment than they are in large. And that is a statistic I think came out with, because they see results, they see interaction, they have a voice. And that's something that HR always is instrumental in coming about as well.
How long have you been in the UAE, Alrona?
So I grew up in the UAE.
Okay, so this is a great question. I did not know that. Well, how do you think in your time here, and obviously in your time working in HR, the UAE workplaces have become more employee friendly? What have been the significant changes that you've seen over the years?
Oh, there's huge changes, right? From, I can go back as far as when my parents were working here, right? It was very much like a personnel department, even not even HR. So all they managed was, the administrative aspects of things, and they kept passports and all of this stuff. To now, like, where we value employees, we don't have those sort of policies. We look at what's right for the employee as much as what's right for the business, and we make a balanced decision between that two. People have been given more attention, and so has the function been given more attention, but there's still a lot more progress to be made if we're trying to benchmark ourselves across the world.
It's a wrap! It's a wrap! Thank you, ARN Network, for having us, actually for having her. See you in the next video.